Hey friends, welcome to Guitar Tone Chaser. Julia Smith here, and today I want to help you avoid one of the biggest mistakes guitar players make before hitting record. I've played on a lot of records and I've learned a few essential steps that can make or break your guitar sound before you even press that red button. First of all, the most powerful piece of gear in the room, it's you. Your fingers, your intention, your dynamics, your mindset, and how you want to connect and make people feel when you play. And if your technique or intention isn't there, no amp, pedal, or plugin is gonna save you. That's the hard truth. Maybe sometimes you have to record on the go, but keep it simple, like you don't have to be Steve Vai or something. You just have to deliver. So do what you can deliver, right? Play with feel and play it like you mean it. Really, it makes the whole difference. I've learned it myself because sometimes we're so worried about delivering the right parts and doing everything right that we forget about the most important part. It's like feeling the music and making it's an emotion, right? We have to connect with people. So that's the most important part. Have fun with it. Next up, your instrument. I can tell you how many times I've seen amazing guitars show up totally out of shape. So many amazing instruments, and it's so funny because sometimes they could cost thousands more than mine, but people would play on my guitar and say, oh, your guitar is amazing, and something like this. But you compare to them and it's not properly set up and it doesn't work, if it's not properly set up, you can't get the best out of the instrument. It doesn't matter how much it costs. You have to set up everything, take to a guitar tech or something. It makes a huge difference, trust me. Take time to check your intonation, make sure your tuning is stable. I'm kind of obsessed with tuning guitars all the time. And make sure your action feels right and pick up 8, it's dialed in, no fret buzz, no rattles. You want your guitar to be ready to sing. Now quickly before we move on, if you want to get great guitar tones, record like a studio musician, play and recording on time, and also increase your presence as an online guitarist, please click in the link below to learn more about Guitar Tone Chaser VIP. So let's continue. Okay, now let's talk about amp. When I dial in a tone, I always start dry, no reverb, no delay, just the guitar and amp. Because in this way, I can truly hear the tone of the amp I'm using. And then when the chord tone it's inspiring, then I can think about space and effects. Because every amp has its own voice, so I choose the right amp for the right song. Also try to dial in the EQ and to really match the part I'm tracking in this song best. I also want to talk about microphones because people often think they need to spend a lot on microphones. There's also a funny story about, I don't know actually who was the artist, but the engineer kind of had everything set up with different microphones and everything. And the artist comes in the studio and says, what is this, and threw everything away and just keeps the Shure SM57 because many of the greatest sounds in history were recorded through this microphone. So I know, just start with what you have and get the best out of it. Here I always have my SM57 on. I'm also using the Roswell K67 Mini, which is amazing. So I paired them usually both together. So I usually blend those. And I also have my DI always on. Then I can reamp or use plugins. Yeah, that's basically it. And for speakers, I'm using Celestion's G1265s. And those are amazing. I'm very happy with it. So for effects, as I said, I usually go with the dry amp first. And I might dial in some plugin effects in my computer, in my DAW, or if I want something more specific, like a pedal or something, or a specific delay, I'll track those in my pedal board or something. but I usually nowadays record dry. So I have my DI signal, I have my amp signal, and then I put effects here in my DAW. So when I send to the mixing engineer, he will have more control over the effect. And as I said, if I want something more specifically, I will just go with the pedal. It really depends, because some things I like to use my own pedals, and also there are some plugins I like to use. So it really depends on the song, what I'm trying to achieve, and everything. And I also want to talk about one really important part of the process. It's mixing, because you can dial the best tone ever, and you still might get buried in the mix. It's the hard truth. And that's something you really want to pay attention, and also make sure that you find someone who understands your sound and that makes the best decisions to make you sound like you and make you be happy with the results. But that's it. Mixing, it's also a very important part of the process, and it makes all the difference. So make sure you remember this before recording guitars next time. And also keep in mind that great tone starts before the first note. If this helped, hit like, leave a comment below. Let me know which is your favorite microphone to track guitars. And also subscribe for more guitar tone tips. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.